You're tuned to Arrow FM, your local community access radio station. The time now is 8 o'clock, time for another hour of the great music that came out in the 1960s with the 60s Nostalgia Show. The 60s Nostalgia Show is kindly sponsored by Cotter and Stevens, the electrical contractors down in Jellicoe Street in Martinborough. They're electrical contractors, whether that be private or commercial, and they're also dab hands around the farm. Cotter and Stevens have been part of the Wairarapa for a long time, and I'm sure they will somehow have a presence tomorrow as the A&P show returns to Clearville. Nothing really planned for the show tonight. We'll mark 2 or 3 milestones at the start, and then for the rest of the program we'll just see what catches my eye from the stuff I've brought down. But in between time, let's listen to Hank Marvin and the Shadows and their classic Wonderful Land. I decided to start off the show tonight with a Shadows song, because on this day in 1941, the guitarist Hank Marvin was born, because he was a real mainstay of the Shadows all the way through until they essentially disbanded in the late 1960s or early 1970s. He was born in the UK, but interesting enough has lived in Perth in Australia since 1986, and is a Jehovah's Witness, and also has now got into a jazz guitar, and he just plays a jazz guitar in a couple of bands in Perth just to keep his hand in, I suppose. When the Shadows did break up in 1969, Hank Marvin put out a solo instrumental, and that has become a very well-known song as well. The song called Sasha. Hank Marvin there from his solo career, and of course the Shadows. Huge influences. Get rid of that. Huge influences on a lot of the bands in the UK in the 1960s, and the Shadows also backed Cliff Richard, and they were the band that broke a new ground as well, because they were the band, the three guitarists all had Fender Stratocasters, and that made all the other guys who were playing their beat up old ones very jealous. Also on this day in 1945, Wayne Fontana, the singer with Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders, and also a brief solo career, he was born. Wayne Fontana, his real name was Glenn Ellis, and he left the Mindbenders relatively early on. I think it was in 1965, and prior to that they had a couple of hits, and he also had a hit from his solo career. Things didn't quite work out the best for Wayne Fontana after Pamela, and he fell on some hard times, and the one I remember was he had been made bankrupt, and the bailiff came around to collect his possessions, and Wayne Fontana took exception to that, and the bailiff hot-footed it and got in his car. The only problem was that Wayne Fontana had put petrol on the car and set fire to it with the bailiff still inside. Anyway, here's a track from Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders, In Happier Times.
It started long ago in the Garden of Eden, when Adam said to Eve, baby, you're for me. So come on, baby, let's start today. Come on, baby, let's play the game of love, love, la 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 love. Come on, baby, 'cause the time is right. Love your daddy with all your might. Put your arms around me, hold me tight. Play the game of love. The purpose of a man is to love a woman, and the purpose of a woman is to love a man. So come on, baby, let's start today. Come on, baby, let's play the game of love, 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 la 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 love. Yeah, oh yeah. Well, come on, baby, 'cause the time is right. Love your daddy with all your might. Put your arms around me, hold me tight. Play the game of love. The purpose of a man is to love a woman, and the purpose of a woman is to love a man. So come on, baby, let's start today. Come on, baby, let's play the game of love, 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 la 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 love. The game of love, baby. The game of love, la 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 la. The game of love, baby. The game of love, la 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 la. The game of love,
Pamela, Pamela, remember the days of inkwells and apples and books and school plays, when little Wairarapa kissed Pooh in the wood, and Fluff was a cat that sat on the rug. When Laurel and Hardy are shown at the flicks, with sticky red lilas on splintery sticks, pigtails and ribbons and crushes on Miss secret discussions about a first kiss. You were young and everything was new, impatient to do things you couldn't do. Oh, Pamela, Pamela, you started to grow answers to questions you wanted to know. When the rest of your childhood forgets as a dream, and the harshness of life dims the peaches and cream. When Laurel and Hardy were shown at the flicks, with sticky red lollies on splintery sticks, pigtails and ribbons and crushes on mist, secret discussions about a first kiss. Oh, you were young and everything was new, impatient to do things that you couldn't do.
Wayne Fontana there and Pamela, Pamela. On this day in 1961, yes, 61 years ago today, a local customer, Raymond Jones, walked into Liverpool's Nems record store looking to buy a copy of My Bonnie by the Beatles, which had been released in Germany. Shop manager Brian Epstein does not have the record in question, but promises to investigate further, and he certainly did that. I think he also located a copy of My Bonnie. The confusion was perhaps caused by what was credited on the single, and according to the Hamburg sessions, I think they were called. The Beatles got together with a local singer, Tony Sheridan, and recorded a few tracks produced by Bert Kaempfert, the orchestra leader and songwriter. And the Beatles had a couple of tracks, and also they were credited on this song as the Beatles with Tony Sheridan, and on some other titles the credit was Tony Sheridan and the Beat Brothers. So all a little bit confusing, but My Bonnie, the lead singer, is in fact Tony Sheridan.
My Bonnie lies over the ocean. My Bonnie lies over the sea. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. Oh, bring back my Bonnie to me.
was the Beatles and Tony Sheridan in 1961, and on this day in 1962 the Beatles played at the Empire in Liverpool, the first gig at Liverpool's Top Theatre. Apparently there are 8 acts on the bill, including Little Richard, Jet Harris, Craig Douglas and Kenny Lynch, and also Sounds Incorporated. And talking of shows, on this day in 1964 over the Atlantic, the first of 2 nights billed as the Tammy Show, and Tammy stood for Teenage Music International, was being formed for a cinema release, and that took place at the Civic Auditorium, Santa Monica, and included in the show were Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, the Beach Boys, Chuck Berry, Marvin Gaye, the Supremes, and the Rolling Stones. So that would have been a great show to trot along and listen in. All right, I mentioned on the Blues Show, and I'll mention it again, St. John Wairarapa store in Marston is holding a vinyl record sale tomorrow at the Crossway Church Hall at Totra Street in Lansdowne, Masterton, starting at 9 a.m. And if I remember correctly, that's the church that's virtually on the corner of Totra Street and Te Ori Ori Road. So if you're looking at building up your own record collection, or you just want to go and dig through a few crates and marvel at the old records, pop down to Crossway Church Hall, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the experience of being surrounded by a whole lot of addicted vinyl enthusiasts. All right, 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, let's have a little bit of country.
Well, I pulled out of Pittsburgh, rolling down that eastern seaboard. I got my diesel wound up and she's a-running like I never before. There's a speed zone ahead, well, all right. I don't see a cop in sight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. I got me 10 forward gears on a Georgia overdrive. I'm taking little white pills and my eyes are open wide. I just passed a Jimmy in a whine. I've been passing everything in sight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. But it seems like a month since I kissed my baby goodbye. I could have a lot of women, but I'm not like some of the guys. I could find one to hold me tight, but I could never make believe it's alright. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. ICC is a checking on down the line. Well, I'm a little overweight and my logbook's way behind. But nothing bothers me tonight. I can dodge all the scales all right. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. Well, my rig's a little old, but that don't mean she's slow. There's a flame from her stack and that smoke's blowing black as coal. My hometown's coming in sight. If you think I'm happy, you're right. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight.
Dave Dudley there, and 6 days on the road. I think we'll stay with country for the next 2 or 3, maybe 4 songs, and we'll kick off this little breakout with Bobby Gentry and Ode to Billy Joe.
It was the 3rd of June, another sleepy, dusty Delta day. I was out chopping cotton and my brother was baling hay. And at dinner time we stopped and walked back to the house to eat. And Mama hollered at the back door, y'all remember to wipe your feet. And then she said, I got some news this morning from Choctaw Ridge. Today Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Papa said to Mama as he passed around the black-eyed peas, well, Billy Joe never had a lick of sense. Pass the biscuits, please. There's 5 more acres in the lower 40 I got to plow. And Mama said it was a shame about Billy Joe anyhow. Seems like nothing ever comes to no good up on Choctaw Ridge. And now Billy Joe McAllister's jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Brother said he recollected when he and Tom and Billy Joe put a frog down my back at the Carroll County Picture Show. And wasn't I talking to him after church last Sunday night? I'll have another piece of apple pie. You know it don't seem right. I saw him at the sawmill yesterday on Choctaw Ridge. And now you tell me Billy Joe's jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Mama said to me, child, what's happened to your appetite? I've been cooking all morning and you haven't touched a single bite. That nice young preacher, Brother Taylor, dropped by today. Said he'd be pleased to have dinner on Sunday. Oh, by the way, he said he saw a girl that looked a lot like you up on Choctaw Ridge. And she and Billy Joe was throwing something off the Tallahatchie Bridge. A year has come and gone since we heard the news about Billy Joe. Brother married Becky Thompson, they bought a store in Tupelo. There was a virus going round, Papa caught it and he died last spring. And now Mama doesn't seem to want to do much of anything. And me, I spend a lot of time picking flowers up on Choctaw Ridge and drop them into the muddy water off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
Bobby Gentry there, bringing the time to 27 minutes after 8 o'clock here on Arrow FM, your local community access radio station, and you're listening to the 60s Nostalgia Show, which is kindly sponsored by Connor and Stevens, the electrical geniuses down in Martinborough. Right, next up we've got a song put out by Del Reeves, and the song's called "A Girl on a Billboard."
Doodle-doo-doo-doo, a-doodle-doo-doo-doo. Who is a girl wearing nothing but a smile and a towel in the picture on the billboard in the field near the big old highway? Rolling down the highway in my Jimmy hauling freight from Chicago to St. Louis, Lord, I see her every day. A double clutching weasel like me can hardly ever get a girl to look at him that way. Like the girl wearing nothing but a smile and a towel in the picture on the billboard in the field near the big old highway. Well, what a girl wearing nothing but a smile and a towel in the picture on the billboard in the field near the big old highway. I bet it wouldn't take her very long to get gone if someone would pull a dirty trick and take her towel away. I slow my Jimmy down to 20, that's how many wrecks I see there every day. Caused by the girl wearing nothing but a smile and a towel in the picture on the billboard in the field near the big old highway. A-doodle-doo-doo-doo, a-doodle-doo-doo-doo. Oh, I love the girl wearing nothing but a smile and a towel in the picture on the billboard in the field near the big old highway. I guess I'm getting bolder, cause I'd rather kiss and hold her than just keep a-looking at her every day. At 4:45, coffee drinking, eating time, Jimmy shimmied while I woke up the artist that painted the display of the girl wearing nothing but a smile and a towel in the picture on the billboard in the field near the big old highway. Doggone that girl wearing nothing but a smile and a towel in the picture on the billboard in the field near the big old highway. The sleepy-headed painter said the girl wasn't real and I'd better get on my way. On Route 66 from the billboard to Chicago, you will find tiny pieces of my heart scattered every which way. Shattered by the girl wearing nothing but a smile and a towel in the picture on the billboard in the field near the big old highway. A-doodle-doo-doo-doo, a-doodle-doo-doo-doo, a-doodle-doo-doo-doo.
Del Reeves there, and a song all about driving distractions. The girl on a billboard wearing nothing but a smile and a towel. Right, next up, Jeannie C. Riley and Harper Valley PTA.
I want to tell you all a story about a Harper Valley widowed wife who had a teenage daughter who attended Harper Valley Junior High. Well, her daughter came home one afternoon and didn't even stop to play. And she said, Mama, got a note here from the Harper Valley PTA. Well, the note said, Mrs. Johnson, you're wearing your dress is way too high. It's reported you've been drinking and running round with men and going wild. And we don't believe you ought to be bringing up your little girl this way. And it was signed by the secretary, Harper Valley PTA. Well, it happened that the PTA was gonna meet that very afternoon. And they were sure surprised when Mrs. Johnson wore her miniskirt into the room. And as she walked up to the blackboard, I can still recall the words she had to say. She said, I'd like to address this meeting of the Harper Valley PTA. Well, there's Bobby Taylor sitting there, and 7 times he's asked me for a date. And Mrs. Taylor sure completely down. Well, Mr. Harper couldn't be here 'cause he stayed too long at Kelly's bar again. And if you smell Shirley Thompson's breath, you'll find she's had a little nip of gin. And then you have the nerve to tell me you think that as a mother I'm not fit. Well, this is just a little Peyton place, and you're all Harper Valley hypocrites. No, I wouldn't put you on because it really did. It happened just this way. The day my mama socked it to the Harper Valley PTA. The day my mama socked it to the Harper Valley PTA.
And now that's one person you don't want to get on the wrong side with, and that a great song was written by the late, great Tom T. Hall, one of the greatest songwriters and storytellers in the country field. That brought the time to 26 minutes to 9 o'clock. Time to have a little bit of bubblegum music from 1969. It's the Cufflinks and Tracy.
Tracy, when I'm with you, something you do bounces me off the ceiling. Tracy, day after day, when you're this way, I get a loving feeling. Come with me, don't say no. Hold me close, Tracy, never let go. Tracy, you're gonna be happy with me. I'll build a world around you, filled with love everywhere. And when you're there, you'll be so glad I found you. Come with me, don't say no. Hold me close, Tracy, never, never, ever let me go. Come with me, don't say no. Hold me close, Tracy, never, never, ever let me go. Tracy, never let me go. Tracy, never let me go. Took a walk and past your house late last night. All the shades were pulled and drawn way down tight. From within the dim light cast two silhouettes on the shade. Oh, what a lovely couple they made. Put his arms around your waist, held you tight, kisses I could almost taste. In the night, wondered why I'm not the guy whose silhouettes on the shade I can hide. The tears in my eyes. silhouettes on the shade. Said to myself, you're on the wrong one. Rush down to your house with wings on my feet. Loved you like I never loved you, my sweet. Thought that you and I would be two silhouettes on the shade all of our days. Two silhouettes on the shade.
Hermits there, and Silhouettes, and you're listening to the 60s Nostalgia Show, which is kindly sponsored by Cotter and Stevens, the electrical maestros down in Martinborough. Right, next up we've got the Toys and a Lover's Concerto, and after that I think we'll play Sandy Posey and Born Single Woman, and first up we've got the Toys. The Toys there, and A Lover's Concerto, and next up Sandy Posey, and the correct title is Single Girl.
The single girl, all alone in a great big town. The single girl gets so tired of love letting her down. The life's unreal and the people are phony, and the nights can get so lonely. The single girl needs a sweet loving man to I'll have a sweet loving man to lean on. The single girl needs a sweet loving man to lean on. The single girl needs a sweet loving man to lean on.
The next song comes from the fringes, the grey area between the decades, and I always consider this to be a 1960s a song, even though the LP Bridge Over Troubled Water was released in 1970. All the tracks were recorded in 1969, including the Retailers' anthem, the song called Keep the Customers Satisfied.
Gee, but it's great to be back home. Home is where I want to be. I've been on the road so long, my friend, and if you came along, I know you couldn't disagree. It's the same old story, yeah. Everywhere I go, I get slandered, libeled. I hear words I never heard in the Bible, and I'm one step ahead of the shoe shine, 2 steps away from the county line, just trying to keep my customers satisfied, satisfied. Deputy Sheriff said to me, tell me what you come here for, boy. You better get your bags and flee. You're in trouble, boy, and now you're heading into war. It's the same old story. Everywhere I go, I get slandered, libeled. I hear words I never heard in the Bible, and I'm one step ahead of the shoe shine, 2 steps away from the county line, just trying to keep my customers satisfied, satisfied. But it's the same old story. Everywhere I go, I get slandered, libeled. I hear words I never heard in the Bible, and I'm so tired. I'm so tired. But I'm trying to keep my customers satisfied, satisfied. All right.
That's a great track from an LP that was certainly one of the greatest LPs ever released. The LP put out by Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water. Right, that was from the end of the 1960s. We'll go back to the start of the 1960s. And in 1960, Johnny Burnett put out a song called You're 16.
Ooh, you come on like a dream, peaches and cream, lips like strawberry wine. You're 16, you're beautiful and you're mine. You're all ribbons and curls, ooh, what a girl, eyes that twinkle and shine. You're 16, you're beautiful and you're mine. You're my baby, you're my pet. We fell in love on the night we met. You touching my hand, my heart went pop. And ooh, when we kissed, we could not stop. You walked out of my dreams, into my arms. Now you're my angel divine. You're 16, you're beautiful and you're mine.
You're 16, you're beautiful and you're mine. You're 16, you're beautiful and you're mine. Oh well, you're my baby, you're my pet. We fell in love on the night we met. You touched my hand, my heart went pop. And ooh, when we kissed, we could not stop. You walked out of my dreams, into my arms. Now you're my angel divine. You're 16, you're beautiful and you're mine. Well, you're 16, you're beautiful and you're mine.
Spencer Davis Group and Give Me Some Lovin'. And next up, Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas with one of his many hits.
You'll never know how much I really love you. You'll never know how much I really care. Listen, do you want to know a secret? Do you promise not to tell? Whoa, whoa, closer. Let me whisper in your ear. Say the words I love to hear. I'm in love with you. Closer. Let me whisper in your ear. Say the words I love to hear. I'm in love with you. The secret for a week or two. Nobody knows, just we two. Closer, let me whisper in your ear. Say the words I love to hear. I'm in love with you. Oh, I've known the secret for a week or two. Nobody knows just we two. Listen, do you want to know a secret? Do you promise not to tell? Whoa, whoa, closer. Let me whisper in your ear. Say the words I love to hear. I'm in love with you.
6 minutes to 9, and before I forget, don't forget to remember to turn up at the vinyl record fair tomorrow at Crossways Church, Tota Street in Lansdowne, kicking off at 9 o'clock. Right, time for one more, and we will go out with Simon and Garfunkel.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more, people talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never shared. No one did disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know, silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you, take my arms that I might reach you, but my words like silent raindrops fell, echoing the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls, the tenement halls, whispering sounds of silence.
And Simon and Garfunkel there, great song, The Sound of Silence, bringing to a close another edition of the 60s and Nostalgia Show, which has been kindly sponsored by Cotter and Stevens, the electrical contractors down in Jellicoe Street in Martinborough. And the program was first broadcast all over the wonderful Wairarapa on Arrow FM 92.7. not what I normally go out with, but still a lovely song, Acapulco and Stranger on the Shore. Before I disappear, I'll put on some commercial-free Kiwi music, and it'll take you right through until the next scheduled program. All right, quick look at the weather forecast for the next few days here in the Wairarapa. And I have to get into Met Service website because I forgot to bring it down from the paper. So tomorrow it's going to be a top of 24 and a low of 16, which is pretty balmy. Going to be partly cloudy with some morning and evening rain with nor'westers. On Sunday, a top of 22, a minimum of 11 degrees, occasional rain with northerlies, and on Monday, a top of 24, showers clearing to find in the morning with nor'westerlies. So looks like we're in for a spell of fairly settled and decent weather, apart from the odd shower or two. So I'm afraid weather will not be an excuse for not doing those jobs outside that you have kindly been selected to do. Plenty on at the weekend. As I said, the vinyl record fair at Crossways Church in Tota Street, Lansdowne, tomorrow from 9 o'clock. And also over the weekend we've got the Wairarapa AMP show at the Clareville Showgrounds. The first time we've had the AMP show at Clareville for, I think it's 2 years because of COVID. So that'll be a great, I was going to say a great show. It will certainly be a great show. It'll be a great thing to get out there and wander around and smell the country. Playing in the background at the moment, it's actually Chris Barber, the trombone player, very heavily involved with the jazz and the blues scene in the UK in the 1960s, and a big hit for him, a song called Petite Fleur. All right, plenty of sport on over the weekend. In fact, there is probably an overdose of sport. The Women's Rugby World Cup continues on, and over the weekend the quarterfinals are played, and the Black Ferns have or will come up against Wales. So it should be a cracking game that hopefully they will win relatively easily based on the last game in the pool play. And certainly the Black Ferns are going very well with an attractive style of rugby, unlike England and France. And of course, over in Tokyo in Japan, we've got that farcical scheduling of the test, the All Blacks versus Japan. It's being played and televised at the same time. So people in New Zealand are going to have to choose whether they watch the All Blacks live and record the Black Ferns, or do it the other way around. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll tape the All Blacks versus Japan and watch the Black Ferns live, because I think that's going to be a more entertaining game. Over in Australia, the T20 World Cup continues on with upsets galore. England getting beaten by Ireland the other night, and last night Zimbabwe beating Pakistan. So it's going to be an interesting game on Saturday when Australia take on England, because depending on who wins is going to have a big impact on the rest of the tournament. And I would think if one of them loses, they will be out of the tournament, unlike what many people predicted. So that'll be interesting. And of course, I think it's Tuesday we are taking on, I think it's Sri Lanka, and it's not necessarily a must-win for us, but I think that it should be a good game as well. So lots of entertaining cricket happening in Australia. Over in the UK, there's the World Cup for rugby league, and there's also golf around the world. Great golfing weekend last weekend with Lydia Ko winning the tournament in South Korea, and Stephen Alker winning another tournament on whatever that tour is called over in the States. It used to be the seniors. That's the one where you've got to be over 50 to qualify. Right, anyway, time for me to disappear and put on some commercial-free Kiwi music. You're tuned to Arrow FM, your local community access radio station that broadcasts all over the wonderful Wairarapa on Arrow FM 92.7 and elsewhere via our website arrowfm.co.nz, and you can pick up some programs on Wairarapa TV, which is a Freeview channel number 41. The time now is coming up 5.5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Time for some commercial-free Kiwi music.